Dire Bear. It's Tuesday night, so of course that means we're playing Valley by Night River City, our Vampire 5th Edition actual play. I'll be your storyteller for the evening, Jason. And with me as usual will be Jeremy playing Egidio, Sarah playing Emma, and Eric playing Kyle. And let's see, what are the highlights from last week? I believe y'all had to clean up a mess somebody had made out of one of your Thin Bloods.
Yep.
But upon investigating his house, you found out he's probably not the sort of person you're really going to miss anyway.
He's not a great guy.
Lots of human body parts in storage.
Identification stored upstairs in the attic.
Truly, the lupines were doing us a favor. Not that I'll ever admit that.
I don't think it was the lupines that killed him. We don't know who killed him.
I don't know. That head was squashed like a freaking watermelon.
Vampires can also mountain somebody.
But there were certainly lupines hanging around outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the lupines did tell Kyle that they did often and were tasked to stick around for when more show up.
Well, hell. Okay, never mind. I couldn't remember if it came up.
And then Kyle intercepted them.
not that Emma would know.
Yeah, Emma wouldn't know, and therefore we're gonna just say
Egidio looked at it, was like, that looks like lupine shit.
Yeah, I don't think it ever did come up.
Yeah, no, we're too busy dealing with the fact that one of them jumped through a window to try and eat Iola after she opened the window or opened a curtain.
Yep.
Look, we know she smells like worm.
Well, Emma wouldn't necessarily know what that meant anyway.
Yeah. She figures worms are kind of slimy and dirty. Maybe they just don't like the smell of worms. I mean, we're dead, so maybe it's a decay thing. Maybe they have more sensitive noses.
So we wrapped up, I think, with Kyle leading them towards Decatur.
Yeah.
Technically, I was still in the city limits, but more towards the actually built-up area of the city.
Yeah.
Headed towards the old Decatur General Building, which I keep calling it that, but they've actually changed the hospital's name. Which is unfortunately a very strongly fortified camp position.
Yes.
Which is probably how the young wolf got himself in such some trouble. But that's why y'all are headed that way. Leaving the rest of you behind to finish cleaning up the mess.
I think we're
kind of what Egidio does. He brought all this stuff specifically to do this. Although he does have to take a moment to bum a shower from the place that's, been torn up.
Alright, so what are you doing with all the body parts?
All the body parts are going to be put in
a tarp.
Evidence like bags and then put in a tarp.
And y'all drove Emma's vehicle?
Yeah. Egidio, I did make a point to say that Egidio got all of his cleaning supplies.
Yes. I imagine Egidio's got, just a go bag of his
for sure.
cleaning stuff.
He's been called, I think, by everyone in the party at this point to clean up a body, so at this point, he's got at least one go bag.
I'm just gonna have to offer to keep one in the trunk.
Underneath the go bag is one brick of C4, just in case there's no hope for the building.
I just tucked it in the go bag. It's like the ultimate Lysol.
It's the oh shit button.
Yep. Can we clean it? No.
Can we get rid of it? Yes.
The carpet can't have a stain if there's no carpet.
Exactly. But yeah, Egidio has his steam cleaner. He's got all of his supplies, and he has told them that there is no shortcut to this. There's no magicking this. It's just using your hands and getting right into it. And then he kind of gives the basic instructions, goes to take a shower to get the blood off, and then comes back and helps out where he needs to. Because he kind of slathered himself in blood over a crit fail.
Yep. But
As one does.
so you got the body parts, loaded up in bags, in a tarp, in Emma's trunk.
Maybe not in the trunk quite yet. Maybe not until they leave.
Sitting in the tarp next to her car.
There we go.
In the garage, like near the front door, not hanging out outside. Just like a big
what
obvious
month
tarp.
is it in Indicator right now?
What had we skipped up to? April or May, I think.
Yeah. So if it's summertime, yeah, we're not putting that anywhere near a bag, right? Anywhere near a trunk right now. That smell will never come out.
Yeah. Kind of driving with the windows down and maybe the back seat to the trunk down.
And I think as we do that, I think Egidio will also like as we conclude this, he's like, I can make this. He's looking at the body parts that are rolled up. He's looking and he looks at Emma and goes, I can make these parts absolutely repugnant for anyone who tries to consume them. I don't know if we know anyone who's proven eaten yet, but just in case.
Who would eat them?
Look, I don't know. I had a thought, but even the lupines didn't want to eat them.
Yeah, I think the idea of eating us is probably like one of the most
Sacrilege.
repugnant things for them. Maybe, yeah. Aside from like negotiating with us.
I don't know why. I just thought of like someone just like taking this and be like, "Ooh, free snack," and then like there's the masquerade.
Oh, it's finger licking good.
I think I'm thinking of the Samedi, but they're
So
part
anyway,
of me as much as they are anyway.
the GDO covered in blood, puts y'all to steam cleaning everything, goes and showers up. Maybe he steals a change of clothes.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't change in your go bag?
Just use their stuff. It's fine.
Yeah,
they're not.
they don't need it.
We're about the same size.
Before Gidio left, Em would be like, do we want to do anything with the stuff in the ceiling or in the attic? Like destroy the identifications and cell phones and maybe...
He already took all that.
Okay. I just wanted to re-clarify what we're doing with it.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe those were bagged up last time.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure everything was...
Because everything was in there except the cash. The dude had taken the cash out.
Yeah.
Gidio does this for his unlife.
Well, he isn't exactly marching down.
No, he's not.
So y'all are doing that. Oh, everybody, and by everybody I mean Emma, give me a, because Gidio's in the shower, Emma, give me a wits awareness.
And I gotta find where I put my character sheet here.
Three successes? All right. You're steam cleaning, and out of the corner of your eye, through the shaded window, or the curtained window, you see some flashing lights.
Shit. Who else is in here? Cause I'm gonna assume that we're saying Walter and Iola got walked off, or Walter followed Iola because she was doing Malkavian things.
I'm gonna say they're around helping clean up.
Okay. We got flashing lights. We gotta wrap this up. You guys, and she's gonna go knock on the bathroom door, like, make it quick. We got flashing lights.
Tell them to fuck off. It's either that or we let them know that vampires are real. Which one do you want to do?
You hear car door shutting out front.
Jesus. All right.
Finishes up at that point. Towels off, gets a change.
Walking out says, if you guys can get the body parts out of here, Walter, if you can just jump them away or something, do it. And walks out the front door. Locks it behind her, maybe. Well, closes it behind her. Maybe if she sees the house keys, locks it.
Well,
She
keep in mind
has-
there's a big busted
Fine.
window. You know.
Okay. She's busted window. Lot of blood. Before she, what's the back door look like? Did they go out? Anything happen to the back door? Because they
In
had to get
the
access, correct?
the
Like,
initial
murder.
break-in, the initial murder, they busted in the back door.
Fantastic. Okay. Squares her shoulders, puts on her best dealing with the public smile, and opens the door, kind of like hands up, like, "Hey, what's going on?
You get a couple of guns pointed at you.
Oh, hey. Whoa.
Like you can tell they already had their guns out when they got here.
Hi.
Step out into the yard, please. Keep your hands up.
She keeps the hands up, and a deer ran through this guy, or my friend's window here. It went up the damnedest thing. I don't know what was going on. It looked like it might have got hit or something. Hi, how you doing?
Identification?
I'm okay to grab it?
Slowly.
Yeah. Slowly pulls out driver's license. She's still young enough to where, it still looks like her, and the birth date is authentic and all that.
We're all like sub a year or two.
Yeah. She's at most like 5 years.
He walks up, takes it. He motions. One of the other officers steps up, starts giving you a pat down. How armed are you at the moment?
Once they got on scene, she probably just left her gun in the car. She'll mention that I have a pistol in the vehicle. It's under the seat. Ammo's in the back.
What kind of ammo do you have in your gun?
She would only tell him about the regular. There's no ammo in her gun right now. If she put the ammo in the back,
What kind of ammo does she have in her car?
just the regular.
Oh.
If they were going to clean up something, the whole Hee Haw gang was going, she wouldn't have taken incendiary.
No way we would have known.
Yeah. If the whole Hee Haw gang was going.
Which we did.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they go and they check your car, and all that's what you said. And who is your friend that lives here?
Friend of a friend.
And
They called
and a couple of officers like breaking and going around the back.
Okay, she would have told. She did tell Walter, make a break for it.
Yeah. And you saw him throw the bag over his shoulder and obfuscate.
Moss up. I think Egidio sees. I think Egidio takes a moment, sees that that Emma's got the front, and I guess he doesn't see them in the back, but he's gonna go in the back to see if there's anything that needs to be hidden over here.
She is saying this loud enough for Egidio to probably hear the cover story. She's doing the loud, terrified talk, like loud talking to officers talk. It was a deer. No, I'm scared. I start yelling when I'm scared.
I think I do intercept. I would intercept those officers.
Yeah, if you go step out the back, they're coming around the sides.
Oh, whoa. Hey.
And you get the whole hands in the air,
Yep. Egidio would have his gun in his go bag. But he doesn't have his go bag on him, obviously. what seems to be the trouble, officers.
Identification?
I'm not reaching for it. I'm brown. It's in there.
I was gonna say something. Like, are we sure Judy gets the same treatment?
No, he doesn't. He's gonna say he motions to his right what do you call it, pocket.
They come up, they spin you around, put you up against the wall, give you the pat. Take your ID as they give you your,
Yep.
as you give you your pat down. And I guess you're still young enough. Your ID matches up, all right.
For sure. Also from Mexico, so.
I was about to say, are you in the United States legally?
He has a passport and he has a green card.
Okay.
But he's got all of that legally situated. But it is a Mexican ID identification. So if they actually go in the wallet, they'll see the green card. They'll see everything else that he needs.
Okay. And they dig through it all. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They start taking you around front.
Mm-hmm.
The one of them stops and notices the damage on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Emma, you see them kind of march a GDO around.
Does it look like when I see the damage, does it look like someone kicked the door down, or what's going on there?
Yes, it just looks like it was brute forced open.
Okay.
It's still on its hinges, but like the over by the bolt and
it
stuff.
Could be a deer that bolted out.
Terror does weird things to deers.
Yeah.
I can actually say I've witnessed that.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen the YouTube videos of deer just running through a plate glass door or window and just tearing the place up.
Yep.
The one I saw shoulder checked my car, rolled across the hood, and still ran off.
Parkour!
My car did not leave the scene under its own power.
The answer here is we just all need to ride deer.
Good luck taming them. Yeah, Ichidio will move up front. As he's going by, he's like, "Hey, so what's going on? What I miss?"
Oh, where is Furman during all this? Because I forgot Furman was with y'all.
Yeah, he is.
He's probably helping clean.
Yeah. See, this is why I cleaned off the blood, because something was gonna happen like this.
Oh yeah, no, I could feel that too. I'm like, we're gonna get caught cleaning either by humans or other vampires.
And yeah, a few officers go into the house, and you hear the same sort of confrontation both of you have had so far. You hear Furman going through that.
Yep. I imagine Iola's just there, like, you don't need to worry about me. Don't worry about me.
Shadow
just
melted into a corner.
Pokes an officer and goes like, "You don't have to worry about me. I don't exist." Or just some weird like dementation thing.
You do what now?
Or not dementation.
Dominate.
What is it? Dominate. Dementation is an amalgam power.
You have dominate?
I don't. I'm saying Iola. I just picture Iola doing like some dominate. Like, you don't need to see me.
Or left with Walter. One of the two.
Yeah, either or. I don't. The GM's playing the character. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a fair point.
What would her card from last week have told her to do?
Well, it was the devil reversed last week.
Yeah.
We'll say, for simplicity's sake, we'll say she went with Walter.
Yep.
I don't know if he could obfuscate with her, but he could definitely hop away. And you had a nearby tree line, so getting out of sight wouldn't be hard for him.
Yeah.
But a minute later, they come out with Furman. You hear him talk. Apparently, his license is expired.
Damn it, Furman.
Well, I don't drive much, so you know.
At least a fine.
All right, they're pointing at Emma. The one talking to you points at you. You said your friend was here. Who's your friend that owns the house or lives at the house?
We know the name of this guy, right? I just don't remember it.
Does anybody have it jotted down?
No.
Nope.
Even if
Furman told us.
Let's see here. I've got a Kalen Rowe written down. I got an Orlando Cobb written down. Those may have been the Wolves.
I think those. No. I almost said.
Anyway, you give his name.
Yeah.
So where is he?
Taking the deer somewhere that it's not in the backyard.
There's about 3 cars worth of police here.
So about 6 officers total,
Mhm.
give or take.
And they're on their radios talking about, they're on the scene.
Freak accident with a deer.
Yeah. Which one seems to be in charge?
There's
All about equal rank.
Someone here is the head officer.
Lieutenant Speak.
Are they the one, like?
They were the one.
younger, Or...
They were the one that started talking to you first.
Okay.
Oh, and we got Vancouver by Night in the chat.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Alright. She's going to try mesmerize on him. Just needs to be able to have their gaze.
Okay.
And like the sirens aren't blaring or anything like that.
No, they had the lights on, but they pulled up without the sirens going.
That's suspicious in itself.
But yeah, he's starting to explain to you that they got a call from one of the neighbors, which his house is a distance away from other people, but a young girl had run up to a young lady had run up to their house, asking for help, claiming she'd been held captive here. And he's like, we sent some officers, pick her up for some drug testing because she was talking about monsters busting in.
That's horrible. I hope nothing like mental, maybe like a mental psychosis, a break, or. Anyways, manipulation or mesmerize, rouse check, failed that, and 4 successes against the guy.
Well, he's a normal human, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's horrible that happened, but it was just a deer. I don't know why everyone's here. Seems like just a kind of a waste of time.
And resources.
You're telling him that he starts nodding his head. Yeah.
I mean, I've heard there being these jokes or pranks going around. I saw it on YouTube a couple days ago about people walking up. They'll use it to try and rob the people that they're actually saying, banging on the door. Like, oh gosh, help me, someone's chasing me. And there's sometimes another person out there, trying to break in. You made sure that didn't happen to that guy, right?
Oh yeah, we should probably check on that. And you see a couple of other officers watching this, and they're getting looks in their face like, "What are you?" Not at you, but looking at the lieutenant like. Lieutenant, we've got signs of a break-in in the back of the house, and what now?
Breaking line of sight with this guy, going to use compel on one of the other people, which is a free. That seems. I mean, you might want to listen to him. It seems like a good idea to check on that, just to be safe.
Well, all right. I guess I could go check out.
All the gang activity that's been going on. Yeah, I don't want that guy to get hurt.
I guess we
Might
go
have
check
moved
on
out of
that.
the city into the
Do you,
country.
do you want to check on that lieutenant? He gives the nod. So 2 of the officers get in their car and drive off. So you now got 2 cars, 4 officers.
Successfully de-escalated.
I was like, I'm
Egidio
doing
gets the vibe
somebody's
that
work.
Yeah, there were 3 of
Egidio
them.
gets the vibe that we're
So
de-escalating.
there were 3 of them sitting out front with y'all.
There's 2 still inside.
So yeah, there's 2 still inside. Or at this point, there should be 4, so there'd be 3 inside. Because it was 3 cars, 2 officers a car.
So
If
there's
you
only
wanna-
1 officer here.
Right.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Is it okay with you if I go grab my cell phone from in there? I just want to make sure my buddy's okay because I know they drove that way. So I mean, Egidio and them can. Your other
right here.
officers are in there. I'm not a good runner either. Bum ankle.
Don't say that.
I'm trying to think how far your dominate would go. Because the dominate's pretty much just the one command.
Yeah, fair
Just
enough.
reapply it.
I don't know if it can be reapplied to the same target, but let me check. Doesn't say anything. Just says duration until command is carried out or the scene ends.
Okay, you can give him a different command.
Should be another mesmerized rouse check.
How hungry is Emma going to be at the end of this?
Just like beanie dripping blood. Two successes?
Okay, that's all you need for kind of a mook.
Human.
I'll leave the front door open. I mean, you're gonna be able to see me through the window, anyways.
Okay. And he radios the guys that you're coming in to get your phone. One of them responds with, okay.
Alrighty. Me just re-getting out my dice again.
All right, you go inside. There's 3 officers poking around.
I thought I had more dice in that. Is she able to easily get eye contact with any of them?
Well, the 2 that are in kind of the living room, kitchen area, they both look up at you as you walk in. I mean, they knew you were coming. They're not surprised.
Yeah.
But you're like suspiciously at this scene, at this weird scene, so they're obviously keeping an eye on you.
Cloud memory? Don't worry about me, I'm not here.
All right, you just sort of blanking the fact that you were ever here.
Don't worry, there isn't anyone here.
They sort of shrug their shoulders and go back to work.
She's figure isn't anyone will cover anyone. She makes sure to get the gaze of all 3.
Yeah, one of them's further back in the house. Like back in the back lab room.
Dang it, where'd I put my cell phone? And like patting her legs, walks to the back, tries to get that guy's eye. Hey, have you seen a cell phone sitting around here? It has like a Hello Kitty sticker on the back.
You see him, he's sitting there, he's holding some of the lab equipment, he looks over at you.
Don't worry, no one has been here. That's bye. Grab.
He just
grab
kind of
the
goes, oh,
phone.
okay. He sets the beakers down and starts filling with something else.
If she sees Egidio's bug out bag, she is gonna grab that as well. 'Cause she knows what that looks like.
Yep. It's a really nice canvas bag.
And walks back out front. Hoping that somebody else did something in the meantime.
Gino's still here. He's just sitting there. He's like, I'm not fucking with police. I've seen shit on TV.
So yeah, while she's in there, officer it turns to you and GDO. So she said your friend was disposing of the deer.
Yeah, it freaky weird deer just kind of like run all over the place. It just drops. It just it'll run and it'll keep running even though it's bleeding profusely.
He's oh yeah, trust me, I've had to deal with car
Sure, they've
wrecks.
hit many cars in the area.
So he's just dragging it out of the woods or something.
Yeah, just putting it somewhere where it won't be an even more horror scene than what you see in there.
And how did you know that? How do you know this man?
I know Emma, or he would use whatever name she said out loud.
Yeah, she just said Emma.
Okay.
Well, they
That's
had her
okay,
ID,
right?
so
Me and Emma go way back.
He seems less suspicious of you now, probably because of the command Emma gave, making him think this might be a prank call sort of thing.
It's one of those things where he also starts to like say, I studied forensics, so putting away the stuff to get rid of deer blood is right there with me. It's in my wheelhouse.
Give me a wits awareness, Gio.
Yeah.
If Emma coming out. Yeah, he's a chemistry nut. I was gonna introduce these two. They're both really into chemistry.
Science nerds.
Bunch of damn nerds.
1, 2, 3, 1. Scoop. Okay. All right. I'm gonna re-roll 3 dice. One success.
Oh, buddy. Sure don't want to go back to the digital dice.
No.
You said you got how many?
1.
Okay. Yeah, you don't see nothing. Don't worry about it. It wasn't important.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Yeah, Egidio just starts chewing the fat a little bit and just starts talking about some of the things he's accomplished over with his degree, his goals.
So while you're talking to him, you see Emma walking out with your go bag.
Mm-hmm.
The officer turns and looks at her, and Furman takes that opportunity to bring this flask that he had slipped into his hand up to his lips.
Oh, great.
Does Emma see this?
Yes.
Oh my god, don't let the thin blood go off the rails.
Well, you don't know what he's drinking. It might be something useful.
Gatorade.
Just drinking Hawaiian punch.
I mean, sure, he drank that thing that one time and punched a brouhaha, but
These things happen. I mean,
yeah.
who hasn't? Who amongst us has not punched a brouhaha?
Even Egidio has.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it did anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a science nerd kit. That's pointing at the bag.
He goes, I probably need to look at that. At which point Furman goes, excuse me, officer. And then he locks eyes with it. When the officer looks at him, he locks eyes with him. We were never here.
Finally.
Everybody grab your IDs.
They handed it back. Let's go. Furman drive his own car?
Yes, I guess I believe he would. Yeah, he was here before y'all got here, so yes.
Meet back at the office. And we're gone.
Just very calmly drive away.
We're fly casual, Chewie.
You see Lieutenant Speak walk into the house.
Emma in the car. I was gonna eventually do that, but he can only do it to so many people at a time. In the Baron chat, just like 3 siren emojis.
In the citywide Baron chat or the domain Baron?
Group chat for the
Okay.
Baron group chat.
All right, and then we'll cut to Kyle.
Yeah.
Who is zipping across pastures and backyards.
Mm-hmm.
Infinitely more fun.
Yep. Staying mostly out of sight. Werewolves right on your tail.
Mm-hmm.
As you get a little bit closer to the city proper, one of the wolves throws back his head and howls. While you're traveling through a little wooded area, not like when y'all are in somebody's backyard.
Warning somebody?
A few seconds later, you hear answering howls out in the distance.
The one that he knows is... What was his name? The one he was talking to. Started with an R. I want to say.
R-Y...
Ryan? Ryder.
Ryder. That was
Ryder, that's it. Yep. Had bad handwriting, but yes, I believe Ryder was it.
The one that he knows is Ryder. Glances at him's like, is that something I need to worry about?
We're just calling a few extras that are in the area to us. You spoke like we're going into a hostile zone.
Yeah. Saying the area he decided to hide in is a very heavily fortified location that couldn't hurt.
Give me... Stealth.
Come back here.
Dexterity is... This is more about plotting a course where y'all wouldn't be seen, likely to be seen. Give me an intelligence stealth.
An intelligence stealth?
Yeah. Or maybe wits. Wits stealth if you prefer.
Alright.
If you're having to do this on the fly as y'all are running.
Yes, okay. Gonna willpower reroll 3. Because that was only 1 success on that. That's much better. 4.
Alright. You manage not to run across the street in front of any cars.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all had spent some time getting out there and stuff, so it's not super early. There's not a whole lot of traffic on the road.
Right.
But so you make it to the domain. You're cutting across the domain. You had called ahead and let them know not to bother any wolves you saw, or they saw.
Yep.
As you're approaching, a couple of other wolves falling behind you.
How pissed off are they that they can sense the worm?
You don't hear them say anything about it.
Say, because Kyle is humanity 6, so.
Yeah, yeah.
it
Well, not
means
every
that-
werewolf has that ability.
that's
Not that Kyle would necessarily know that. Now, as you're cutting through Decatur, you really can't help but be seen occasionally.
That makes sense. Since they're basically forging a direct path as opposed to trying to stay out of sight.
Y'all cut down the southern end of your domain across the street. You pass through that, the general neighborhood that Iola lives in. Not that you would necessarily know that, though you know she comes from that direction.
Yeah.
You kind of cut back behind like the Aldis,
Mhm.
when you cross back into Cam territory.
Yeah. When they cross into camp territory, he'll tell Ryder, who is the hunt leader, I guess. At least what he knows him as. He was the one that was talking for the two he ran into. It's like, well,
Well, that's of
we
the
are
two that
now-
got left behind, so you don't necessarily know how ranking he is. But
That's true.
he is the one that's explaining when new ones show up. He is the one explaining to him what's going on. They seem to be taking him at his words.
Yeah. They'll say, well, we have exited the domain that allowed us to move relatively unhindered because I control that. We're into enemy territory now.
One of the ones further back is like, we're in a city. That's always enemy territory.
Enemy territory for me.
Yeah. But so you're approaching the area that you're getting close to the hospital, I should say. And this hospital, it's on the side. Like if you look at the city, you've got 6th Avenue. That kind of cuts the city in half.
Yeah.
And runs up, it runs all the way down into Hartselle, up through across the bridge.
Yeah.
It kind of divides Maddox and August. The hospital is on the eastern side, which is mostly Anarch territory, and then you get this one little bubble that kind of bulges out that circles the hospital that the camera managed to hang on to.
Right.
Basically both the city's major hospitals are like right there on borders.
Okay.
The cam have only kept them because they've expended so many resources.
Makes sense.
As you've been passing through cam territory, you've occasionally seen some of those cars driving around without the lights on, like you saw the other night. But y'all are cutting, y'all aren't following streets. You're cutting through yards, back alleys.
He will, since these are at present allies, or at the very least, allies of convenience. He will point out those cars and say those are hostile vampires, or at least servants of.
Ryder basically tells everybody to stay focused, though. We're here to get in, extract the pup, and get out. Kill anything that gets in our way, but stay focused, stay on mission.
And hopefully you can find some way to purge the worm taint, because I don't want to serve anything.
If you were living, they might be able to help you. They don't really know what to do with you. Or at least he doesn't. I think he told you last session they'd have to check with their can't remember. Their wise person, their scholar. I forget what they called him.
Yeah. I don't think he named scholar in general. He said he'd make inquiries.
That may be in it.
Yeah.
So you're cutting through a neighborhood. The hospital is a couple of streets over.
Yeah.
To your left, at the end of the street, is Decatur High School,
Mm-hmm.
specifically like their ballpark, their football field, and one of their baseball fields.
Mm-hmm.
The streets are lined with no parking signs that are covered up usually get unveiled when there's an event going on.
Mm-hmm.
Just to give you a random detail about this neighborhood.
Fair enough.
Middle class houses packed fairly close together.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Will be
not a
true.
lot of traffic outside. It's still early enough that plenty of the homes have their lights on.
Yeah, he's trying to keep them out of as much plain view as possible.
Now, the neighborhood dogs are going wild whenever you pass through.
That makes sense.
You know, the ones a few houses down from you are just bark, 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 bark. The ones in the yard y'all run through, a lot of times will get oddly quiet. They'll be like, bark, bark, bark.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One or two of the braver ones continue to growl even though they kind of hunker down.
Point of order, how many werewolves are with Kyle right now? I know Ryder and the other one who he didn't name. Or if he did, I don't remember what the name was.
Emery, maybe Emery?
It might have been Emery. The
Something
one
with
that
an
tried
E.
to eat, the one that tried to maul Iola. But how many are with him right now?
3 more had fallen in behind you.
Holy
So it's you and
okay.
5 lupine.
Okay.
It's fine.
I'm just waiting for one of the other barons to be like, "Hey, dude, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
What they don't know
Mm-hmm.
is a plot point for later.
As they're running, Kyle will, since Ryder's the one talking to him. Do you know anything about other shifters? Not wolves, but other animals.
There are other breeds, yes. Many of them are extinct or nearly so.
Ran into a coyote a few months back.
You hear a series of what? Huh? What? From the other ones who were all listening in. Apparently.
Just imagine like the seagulls, mine.
Here,
Yeah,
I know they exist. I thought they mostly still stayed out west.
He helped us fight other vampires, ones that were summoning demons.
Well, their tactics are their own. I find it odd that they would work with you, but then here I am.
Yeah.
Yes, hello, cat.
I'm just watching the tail on the screen. Just like, hello, I am here. Acknowledge
Periscope
acknowledge my presence.
He's getting scritches.
Yeah. But yeah, he would continue to lead them onwards. This is just him making talk as they're running.
All right, so you cut across them a couple of yards. You're one street over from the hospital. The houses thin out because you've got a road with like a couple of gas stations and a restaurant or two, and then a bunch of pharmacies, right around the hospital.
Yeah. At this point, this close, can he smell Orlando? Like, is he here?
Give me a wits awareness, and of course it's scent based.
Yeah.
And I think you'll be using wolf stats for your senses.
If they're better than the vampire one, yes. That's the plus side of shape change is it adds to your skills or replaces them if they're better.
Yeah.
I think how it's worded is like you gain their skills and special traits. So like Kyle's natural stealth is 2 dice. The wolf has a stealth pull dice of 5.
So you go with his
So-
5 instead of your 2.
And like he uses the physical stat block of the wolf, which is physical 6.
Okay.
Anyway, but no, his wits awareness actually is better than the wolves naturally. So it's 7 with my specialty and scent. Yes, okay. 4.
You can tell he's been in the area relatively recently.
Okay.
And some of the other wolves speak up that they think they're catching a whiff of one of theirs. Like not an individual they recognize, but they recognize as one of their people.
Yeah. Kyle's like, yeah, I smell him.
And what did you get on the wits awareness roll?
4.
Hmm, 4 is pretty good. You can't be 100% certain, but you think you hear the sound of suppressed gunfire.
Okay.
Like it's some distance off.
Yeah, his ear perks, and then there's okay. Yeah, he starts snarling, and his pace doubles.
So the direction, y'all are on one side of the road, hospital's on the other. And it's
The
like
rider has anything to
it's
say
maybe
about
a block down, same side of the road as the hospital, but like a block further down.
Okay.
Would you know there's like a medical center over there? A lot of
Right.
pediatricians, regular doctors, the occasional dentist. In the sort of mall setup.
Is the scent getting stronger that way?
As you head that way, it does, yes.
Okay. He'll as he's running, he'll mention to Ryder, I'm hearing gunfire.
As y'all head that way, get a little bit closer, some of the other wolves start hearing it as well.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, it sounds like small arms fire, probably with suppressors on, but they still make noise.
Making 2 rouse checks. I succeed on one, not on the other. As feral weapons and
Activate murder hands.
Yep, feral weapons and toughness go active. So I'm rolling with 3 hunger dice now.
As you cut across the road, kind of candy quarter to the hospital, you hear tires break, and there's somebody in like almost like a delivery van.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some of the hospital. It's got the Huntsville Hospital. The Huntsville Hospital name and stuff on the side of it. So they're the ones that run the hospitals in Decatur as well.
Yeah.
And the driver's just sitting there, open mouth, as this pack of wolves just run across the street.
Fair enough.
We all would be like that. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I mean, these are big wolves too. Like I
In
don't
their
think
regular
they're,
wolf
like,
forms, though, they're not as big as you are in your morphed out one. Because you maintain your mass.
Well,
You're the
I think you
warded
said
out one.
Ryder and Inri were in their larger forms.
Oh, that's right. I
wolf
did say
form.
they went to that dire wolf size one. You're right. So that makes the 3 of you leading the pack unusually large.
Mm-hmm.
Poor delivery guy.
Yeah.
You're bad for my allergies.
So
It's also a cameo from somebody I know that does that job. He literally drives the delivery truck between the different hospital sites at night, dropping off supplies.
fair enough. So shout out to Jason's buddy.
I won't say his name because he knows how to do donuts in that truck.
Yeah. Hence why I just said the buddy.
I'm also not 100% sure he was doing that. I think he was doing that by 2020. Anyway. So y'all cut a car across, past a couple of pharmacies.
Mm-hmm.
You break through a little tree line. Like I said, it's kind of this medical mall sort of setup.
Yeah. Are we still in Cam? We're still in that bubble of Cam territory?
Right around here, it's kind of up in the air. It's not. this area here isn't really safe. Isn't really safe territory for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say it's contested.
Fair enough.
But as you cross into this parking lot, which can't really be seen by the road because you kind of from the road you kind of go up and then down a little hill.
Yeah.
But out of the parking lot there, you see a werewolf in full like battle form.
Okay.
With several what you're assuming are going to be mostly kindred.
Okay. Any kindred that I recognize from Anarch side, or is this Cam?
Give me a roll.
Sure. What am I rolling?
Wits awareness. This is sight based
Okay.
because you're kind of
Yeah,
looking to see if you
yeah.
recognize anybody.
Makes sense. Okay, that's fun. That is 5 with a critical success, no hunger.
Okay, but a total of 5 successes.
A total of 5, yes.
Okay. No, you're pretty sure this is all Cam.
Fantastic.
You know, some of them you specifically recognize as Cam. Some of them you don't really recognize, but you certainly don't recognize them as Anarch. You know,
one of
most
the
of them
ones-
most of them are back a little bit and shooting. There's one or two with handheld weapons that have gotten up, you know, close enough to try to kind of keep him busy while the rest of them are shooting him.
One of the ones that Kyle for sure recognizes as Cam, his ears are going to fold back and he's going to take off in a dead sprint to go right for him. And you know what? Just for flavor, he's going to howl.
When you howl, everybody howls.
Yep.
And you have a large group of Cam vampires that sort of just collectively shit themselves. They turn around and they see this. What to them just looks like a pack 6 deep of lupine come running at them. You know, in the middle of their city.
Yep. Yeah, and he's diving for the first one he can get to.
All right. Let me grab somebody to use as generic stats for these guys. And not a gangrel. Not a minister, though I might need him later. There's one. All right. All right. So the fella you're diving at, I'm assuming you're just going in with your teeth.
Oh yeah.
This guy has got a weapon. Oh wait, no, this guy would be using his firearm. So you howl, so they all spin around. The guy you're diving at is trying to fire at you.
Okay.
All right, so give me your roll.
5 successes.
All right, he also got 5 successes.
So
Tie goes to the player.
So I do 3 unhalf aggravated, not aggravated, superficial damage.
Okay.
+2 from feral weapons, and then +1 for being a wolf.
Sorry, it had buried my pencil. You said 3?
Yeah, 3 total. Since we tied,
Yeah.
then it's just the 3 extra damage gets sent over.
All right. And the other werewolves sort of fan out around you. Let's see. They add $3 physicals. And I'm really just going to be kind of roll one for the werewolf side, one for the cam side, just to keep things simple.
Mm-hmm.
So 9 successes for the werewolves.
Well, with their +3 because they're being werewolves.
I just mean on the
Ouch.
skill roll.
Yeah.
And 4 successes for the cam. Make sure I got that. Yeah. So yeah, there's gunfire. Kindred are getting pounced on. Pieces are getting torn off. And some of the camera getting shots in on the lupines.
Mm-hmm.
But given how the lupines are tanking it, clearly the cam guys did not come armed for werewolves. They're just apparently shooting whatever they already had. One of the wolves kind of breaks through and runs up to Orlando.
About to have the appearance of the child. 1 second. I think.
Child's camera shy. Probably wise.
It's generally a good idea, yeah. After, but RAR and all of that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I just picture, I don't know. That was another piece of there's certain pieces of art that I would love to have commissioned, and one of them is just Kyle going into a full howl as there's 6 werewolves surrounding him.
I just want the werewolves running across the road in the background. You see the delivery truck driver just losing his shit.
That's another good one.
I mean, honestly, depending on how this goes, Kyle might actually wish his life he was a werewolf instead of a vampire. But I digress. So parts are flying.
Yes. It's going. They're putting up a fight, but it's going poorly for the cam.
Fair enough. Want the next roll?
Yeah, we're just gonna do it. We're gonna do the whole 3 roll now thing.
All right. Okay. Another 5.
I accidentally. Oh yeah. I rolled for the werewolf instead of rolling for your opponent. So let me roll for your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with a crit. So that's a total of 6. What'd you get?
I got 5.
Yeah, so he managed to avoid your blows and plugs you with his handgun.
Okay.
He's not using any hinky ammunition because it's just, just the gun that he usually carries. It is a 357 Magnum. So +4. He beat you by 1 with a +4, so that's 5.
Reduced by 2, leaving it 3, and then halved from there.
That sounds right.
So 1 or 2. Superficial.
Let's see.
I think it's rounded up. Yeah.
Jeez.
So
yeah,
that'd be
2.
Superficial. Okay.
That's 6 successes for them versus the werewolves. Werewolves beat them by 2.
That's 5.
Ryder is talking to the pup, or
Mhm.
Orlando,
Yeah.
who drops down from that beast form back into a wolf.
Okay.
And you can see he's in, you can see several injuries on him.
Hmm. But are because werewolf they're starting to regenerate
Yes.
because they're not using fire or silver, I believe.
Right. And none of the cam you've seen right now had feral weapons out.
Yeah.
They were all armed with something.
I mean, they're starting to lose said arms, but that's. Don't give me that look. I saw that look, Jeremy.
Yeah.
All right, third round.
Okay.
Yeah, only 5 for the werewolves that time. Not their best round.
Ooh. Okay. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7.
Wait, how many wolves are you fighting?
I'm not
He's
fighting
not
any.
fighting them.
Oh no,
I
Fighting
have
with
6
them.
I have 6 werewolves with me.
you have 5 werewolves
Oh.
with you. The cam saw 6 because they see you as a wolf.
Well, there's Orlando as well.
Oh, I forgot about Orlando. Yeah.
I don't know if he's actively fighting.
He was until y'all showed up, and then he was just kind of sitting there in shock too. And then Ryder ran up and started talking to him.
All right, so that is 7 successes on my end with a crit.
Alrighty. 1, 2, 3, and your opponent got 4.
Oh yeah, he's.
So that's 6 damage from me.
6, 7, 8. Now he goes down.
And I'll just tear the head off.
And that's enough for the cam. They're in full flight. Not all of them are getting away.
Yeah.
But when a couple of the wolves decide, look like they're going to try to pursue them deeper into the city,
Mm-hmm.
Ryder kind of calls them back. They don't need to split up this deep in enemy territory. They need to get the pup out.
At that point, Kyle will sort of pad over to Orlando's like, well, promised you I'd help you. Found more of your kind.
I didn't think you'd manage it that fast.
I didn't think I would either. But here we are.
All right. Now we have a Rappy and a Duba. Let me get them in.
Did you have it all prepared?
Have what prepared?
The second overlay.
It should be set up right. Rappy, are you on Zoom yet?
No. I just didn't go onto Zoom because when I hopped in, I'm like, oh, now it's. All right. I'm on the Zoom.
All right. And just to catch y'all up, so the police showed up at the house while y'all were still cleaning up. Make sure I've got everybody in their right windows. All right, we're good to go. The bag of parts y'all had gathered up, both people parts and the thin blood that was, tossed around like the scarecrow in the Wizard of Oz. You'd already had all that bagged up in a tarp. And so basically, Walter, at Emma's urging, you threw that bag over your shoulder, that tarp over your shoulder, grabbed Iola, and y'all hopped out of sight. Like out into the wood, out into the woods. And there was some finagling and dominating, and the thin blood used some alchemy, and they managed to make the police forget they were there. They'll just have to hope that the officer never didn't write down their ID name into their names and ID numbers before. Well, they got the
Mine's a Mexican ID. They don't have shit on me.
I didn't even spell it right if they wrote it down.
all the Huntsville police looking for this one guy.
Edgar? Who the fuck is that?
Eduardo? It was something with an E.
Eduardo Lucas?
Yeah, that checks out.
But and then as you caught the tail end of, Kyle led the two wolves y'all ran into, or the two werewolves y'all ran into last session, through the city. They howled and picked up a couple of extras, or a few extras, and wound up in the parking lot of this medical mall, which is of course closed down at night, especially at night with COVID going on. Though I imagine this is a spot that's probably still open during the day. And, big werewolf cam fight out in the parking lot. But the cam were not equipped to fight a bunch of lupines, so it was a few seconds that went very badly for them, and now they're on the run. But let's roll back to Walter and Iola. The police have just shown up. Walter, you grabbed Iola, and y'all have hopped out of sight. What you planning to do with your bag of body parts? Are y'all just gonna hop back to town, or?
That is a good question. Wow. So I've got a bag of body parts, especially that of the one particular thin blood alchemist. Yeah.
It's the thin blood alchemist that was killed, and then all the body parts he had, in his refrigerator and freezer in his lab.
Oh boy.
They haven't thawed out yet. You should be okay.
Trick or treat.
Throw them over like chicken wings.
Just run through and leave one on the porch of every house you see.
Oh.
Oh Lord.
Sure, that would probably be a stain or something, but
Or something.
It'd be something, all right, especially just to be like, you know what? I'm your morbid version of Santa Claus. Here, kids, you get a body part. You get a body part. Oh, this one's actually a head. And we'll save this one. You get a random body part.
Let Iola do it. She's Humanity 5. It's not like she cares.
Hiding him out like a paleta guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and make my humanity worse and have the wolves definitely come after me more.
There's
I mean,
bang a U-turn to come after. Like, hold up, we got more important things here.
That's actually the worm.
We were going to leave, but we can't fast travel with enemies nearby, and then they all just turn and look at Iola.
Can we not?
Around from the coder, like, well, we were about to head out.
The ocarina enemy music here is the
Next session, there's just signs of the domain. Baron needed.
Casting call for another Baron. Ada, have you considered a career change? Miles, Kincaid, either one of you?
If anything, once they've gotten a little distance, Walter would contact Egidio and basically, and Vampire can't be asking him, what do you want done with this, if anything?
So, Egidio, you would realize you had gotten those messages after y'all are driving off.
Yeah. And he'll look at his phone like this is probably fully 30 minutes later after having dealt with the cops.
Oh yeah, the bodies.
Oh yeah, the bodies. It's like, oh, I felt a buzz on my leg, but there's a gun pointed at me, so I'm not answering that right now. And so he'll look at it and go, oh, sorry, had a thing. Let me go see you, and we'll see what we can do about that.
Where do I
I-
need to adjust course to?
that's a good question. Uh, let's see. Is the map currently up? A decent indication of where everybody is? Yes, no, maybe so, so.
Alright, so y'all are like way up. You know the where the thin bloat's hanging out is like way over here.
No, we don't see
If you're
your
clicking anything on the
ping.
map.
Hang on, I may not have
Wrong
y'all.
layer. Wait, we
No,
don't
no.
have that layer.
I'm just on a different map than I had y'all on. That's all.
Okay, so Thin Bloods were
Like over here.
Hmm.
So the very very edge of the city limits. Truthfully, once you get that far out, you're not really in the city anymore. It's just the city's claimed it.
one of those types of situations.
Yep, yep, yep.
Uh,
Or excuse me, no, you'd be down here because it was a straight shot, more or less. So yeah, once you get kind of over here is about where the real kind of city, the part that starts looking like a city is.
okay.
So you could meet just out back behind y'all's domain. Like if you went up a little bit here, that auto shop Kincaid's family runs. It's kind of up there because by that point you're basically back to the domain.
Well,
But there are plenty of like churches and gas stations and stuff that y'all could just pick one to meet at.
you know, for the shiggles, we'll say a church. I just don't know.
Egidio. Wait, what denomination? That's an important question.
Well, given the current location of our story, probably Southern Baptist to just Baptist.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, there's plenty of
Alright.
Methodists, Church of Christ, and
If it was Catholic, we might have some issues, but
I
Baptist is
thought
fine.
that I had a feeling that's why you were asking. I had a feeling.
It's a Hispanic connection.
I can't think of
It
any
is.
Catholic churches around here that aren't in a city.
As they say, funny enough, up here in Huntsville, we only know of one. But anyway,
But yeah, Egidio will meet you there.
I think there's one. I think there's two indicator. I don't know. I don't keep up that closely.
Huh,
Yeah,
let's
well,
see.
Walter
Yep.
would kind of look at GPS wise and just give like, I think I'm close to here, so we'll meet here.
Sure.
And there's plenty of Episcopalians, which is Catholic light. So
Doesn't count enough.
Catholic light, I like that.
before anybody gets upset, before anybody out there gets upset, that's what the Episcopalians I know refer to themselves as. But all right, so it takes you a little while because y'all are going cross country and you're not really familiar with it out here. Luckily, you can see the lights. You can see the city light, so it's not hard to aim in that jump direction. But eventually, y'all meet up.
Yep. And I'll look at him and go, Walter, how's the package looking?
He's got again. He's just got that thing like just stuffed up under his arm. He just kind of works around, just like still somewhat cold. Again, if I was alive, that might be a different story. But both my arm
Just
and the
hold it the whole way here.
yes, had a tuck on one arm, I hold on the other. I just hopped across country.
And some of that was through woods. So Walter and Iola both have like twigs in their hair, and
Oh, hi.
where they were hopping through the forest in the dark.
Fancy meeting you here. All right. Well, you folks see me work, and he'll pull out another pair of latex gloves that you just don't know where he gets them from.
Walter's not gonna question.
Yep. And he'll find just a random field and go to town. Just making sure he's not seen, obviously, but other than that,
Yeah. You can hide all kinds of things in a random field.
doesn't really have the luxury of getting it somewhere else right now.
So y'all sit there and watch Egidio work for a little while as he just makes these bodies. It's almost supernatural how you make them disappear.
I will ask. I know the top half is like all crushed or whatever. Was there any any effects on the deceased?
Yeah, what now?
Any personal effects?
Oh, let's see. This guy was the type that he still wore a watch.
Yeah.
One of those like built-in stopwatch functions and stuff.
Just grab the watch while we're doing that.
Okay. But other than that, no, he didn't wear any rings. He didn't wear any jewelry.
That's fine. He just grabs the watch.
Probably had a
snaps
cell
it on.
phone in his pocket. That kind of thing.
I'm not worried about cell phone. Probably shouldn't bury it for the environment's sake, but I'm a creature of the damned. I don't care.
Global warming's not going to do anything to you.
Yep. So buries the body, buries the gobbets of meat in there with it, and just goes. Well, maybe the heat will rot everything faster.
You don't keep any lye in your go bag?
Huh? Keep any what?
Lye.
Lie. Oh, yeah.
I think that helps them rot faster. Or maybe it just keeps the smell down. I don't know.
Goes real quick, then buries.
Y'all just propped him in the car waiting for Gio to finish. Finally, he comes back.
Comes back wearing a watch like, okay, ready to go.
Have we heard anything through the grapevine of what's going on or nah?
No, not yet.
We haven't.
There's
seen
Kyle.
there-
Kyle and his group had some travel time, even moving at the speeds they can
Yeah.
manage. There's some travel time there. So
Yeah, well, I'm more concerned of getting a message on the Baron group chat of like, hey, what the fuck?
well, you do get a message from Miles. Boss. Oh. How many dogs did you say we should be letting through the dome, through the area?
How many you see?
We saw the one we saw before.
Uh-huh.
That Kyle said was his. Yeah, having to be careful on the phone. And I thought he said there was gonna be 2 more, but there was like 5 more.
Are they
That's
stopping?
No, they just
Yeah,
kept
are
on
they-
going.
are-
They're across the belt line already.
If they're across the belt line, that's a Camarillo's problem.
Fair.
Well, he would have said Camarillo, but he would have said that's whatever that county up there is called. That's their problem.
You also get a message from Ada. Just dogs? Big question mark.
Yeah,
Dogs.
the fluffy ones with pointy ears. Big idiot dogs.
Any minuses I should know about?
Not yet.
And Emma, you were headed back to the office.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
She had told Furman to head back to the office afterwards as well.
Yeah. Well, when you get there, he's already, because he didn't stop while y'all met up with Walter and Iola. So when y'all get there, he's there, and Colin Rowe is there.
Oh dear. Okay, my brain is totally blanked. Which one is Colin?
He is a member of the ministry. He is
Oh,
your
yeah, our
envoy
emissary.
to emissary to Stafford.
The Nos, yeah. Hey.
So yeah, you walk in. Furman looks really he looks like he was nervous sitting here with this dude. Though you know he tends to be kind of nervous around the full-fledged kindred. But Colin comes up. Amos, good to see you. Uh, Egidio. And he looks at Walter and Iola. Well, you look like you may have had a rough evening.
It's been an evening. I'm sure the news will travel as fast as it typically does.
I was trying to get young Furman here to tell me what was going on, but he was a little tight-lipped. He did let slip there were lupine on the edges of the city.
Yeah. They're taking care of it.
Good. My clan and the lupine have a bit of a history. Not that they don't hate us all, but
As long as they're not eating our faces, I guess we're fine.
I don't plan to stand close enough to one to let them consider it.
Good plan.
But luckily for you, if you need a drink, I can help you out.
Oh,
I
you
believe.
found.
Yes, I managed to get a supplier. I didn't ask too many questions about where he got this from. He is a bit of an apolitical tradesman, if you catch my drift.
Fantastic.
And he hands you a box. And Mr. Walter, I believe you were looking for one of these as well.
Ah, fantastic. I'm glad you could acquire us one.
Yes, they're quite pricey.
Oh, that I have no doubt. I should still have a little bit of coin left after, my previous days.
Yeah, and you crack it open, and to an outside observer, it looks like a regular wine bottle. Both the bottles he gives you, look basically the same.
Same hat?
Same hat.
But anyway, I wanted to drop these off to you in person, and frankly, just hunkered down somewhere once I found out there were lupine around.
You're welcome to
Wise
stay
choice.
here as long as you need.
We're in the office, yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So big glass
So-
windows up front that aren't going to hold a lupine out for very long.
No.
Yeah.
Egidio goes to his cubicle, pulls out like a not a decanter, the glass, and just like, hey, and he pulls out two of them and is like, share a drink. It's been a long night.
Do either one of y'all crack your bottles open?
Going back to pay back the one we drank.
Fine. Puts the glasses back reluctantly.
I mean, you can. Looks at Walter. You're welcome to do whatever you want to do with yours, but I got mine for that reason.
Walter just kind of side eyes Emma, barely turning his head. Oh no, you're not the only one that's been considering this. It's just a pain in the ass to get.
Yeah.
Cowards. Closes his desk with his two
Hey.
glasses.
Hey, you could get one too, and then drink it all by yourself with a crazy straw.
Colin turns, looks at you. I could probably procure another bottle. It is rather expensive, but But for a man of your refined taste, I'm sure.
We'll see how Need is looking by this next night.
You have my number.
I do. I appreciate everything you do.
Where's Kyle?
Last minute business that came up.
An enigma wrapped in a wrapped in a vest.
Is he dealing with the
Wrapped in
lupine,
something
perhaps?
else.
He is Gangrel.
Keep an eyeball out for him, yeah.
He's got the the whole thing going.
Oh, he has a cocaine habit, I'm aware.
Out of my head! No, no. Bit
He
of a
smiles. He
bloodhound.
knows Kindred don't do that because, they don't have to breathe.
Yeah. Which brings up the whole case. Would there be a kindred version of that?
Yeah, they'd have their blood doll or whatever take some and then drink the blood doll.
Yeah, fair.
But
Eat this pizza. I really want to taste pizza again.
It has
Didn't-
pineapple. Never mind.
It's been 85 years.
the pineapple does aggravated damage. Aggravated
Psychic
willpower.
damage.
All right. Meanwhile, at the medical lab or medical mall,
I'll be right back. Medical
Uh,
mall? Hospital?
Close enough.
well, there's a little medical mall down from the hospital where
Okay,
the
never
where the
mind.
big fighting took place. So the cam are have fled. The wolves are all kind of gathering around the Orlando. Little barrage of questions, about his family, where they're from, and this, that, and the other. He clearly has no clue about this, how he's part of this lineage or anything. They're calling, they're debating amongst themselves whether he's a this or that or the other. They're rattling off names that you have no idea what the meanings of are.
Yeah, Kyle's just over here just quietly learning a whole bunch of stuff about the Grau.
Like clearly they have some kind of clan set up like vampires do.
Mm-hmm.
Or you hear the term tribe, but you don't know if that's a social grouping or
Yeah.
they mention breeds. When you mention the Gato, they mention breeds, so you're not sure exactly what that means. And that goes on for a couple minutes, and then like, okay, we probably need to get out.
Yeah, considering that hospital over there is a fortified territory, means we could have others armed for werewolves shortly. Or Grau, as you call yourselves, I imagine.
You get some nods. And the pack kind of forms up around Orlando and tells him to keep up and all this, but
Oh, they do the flying V.
well, it's more like he's in the middle of it's like they're running in a pack and he's kind of middle-ish.
Yeah. Protect the new blood.
And y'all take off the way, kind of the way y'all came.
Yeah. Kyle, tell Ryder, I'll run with you till we get to the edge of my territory, but then I'll break off from there.
That's agreeable.
I highly doubt you want me following you anywhere near where the rest of you all are.
No. You have proven yourself at least somewhat honorable, but no, let's not take things too far.
Understandable.
So yeah, y'all cross over, and again, there's encounters with some of the cam's cars, or cars full of some of the cam, but they seem hesitant to engage, shall we say?
A pack of what, 7 lupine? from their point of view,
Mhm.
running through.
But it's like it's like they're clearly trying to keep tabs on where you're going.
Mhm.
And as you get to the edge of their domain, more and more cars have built up. So they've been built. You know, the force is getting larger.
Yeah.
Breathe a sigh of relief as they leave.
But yeah, as you cross over into not into your domain, but as you cross over into Anarch territory, though, the cars don't try to follow you into Anarch territory. It's like maybe once you hit Anarch territory, they're like, oh, well, they can do whatever they want to over there.
Fair enough.
As you cross the belt line
Mm.
and are running, next to your domain, you can see a lot of people on the roof of the mall. I mean, not like a huge horde of people. Like there's a dozen or so people up there, all on that side, kind of watching the lupine go by.
Mhm.
Ryder looks back at you and kind of gives you a final nod as you break off.
Yeah.
And the rest of them just continue out, towards that outskirts of town where you picked them up at.
Yeah, and before they break off, he'll say, "Well, for what it's worth to you for dealing with my kind, it's been a pleasure."
Perhaps we'll meet again.
Perhaps we will.
None of the rest of them bother to acknowledge you, except Orlando.
Yeah.
He kind of gives you a one more thanks over his shoulders.
Good luck, kid.
Though he seems to have been enjoying running with the pack, his tongue was lolling outside his mouth.
That's cute.
Yeah, and then Kyle will break off, and he will head to the office.
Do you cut around in front of the mall or behind the mall?
He's gonna cut around behind them all.
Okay. There seems to be a lot of startled people on the roof of the mall that kind of follow you around.
Mm-hmm.
But once you pass, by the mall without doing anything, they calm down. So they probably keep you. You're probably under observation all the way to the office.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you go to the front door of the office? Or do you loop behind?
Loop behind the coterie door, basically.
Yeah. So they would lose sight of you by the time you get around there.
Yeah. There's a on the door.
No, I'll go get it. Goes, opens the door.
Giant wolf at the door.
Oh, the Thinblood's gonna possibly die again. Okay, come on. Opens the door wide enough.
Let's say the minister's in there too.
As you walk in, Herman just kind of freezes. Colin is heading to the front door.
This one's fine.
There's an expletive, something about set, and he's heading to the front door.
Before he gets to the front door, big old Mitt just kind of comes in front of him. Calm down for just a moment.
Just Kyle.
It's really
Oh,
convincing.
he tries to get his dignity back. Oh, that's
That dignity gone.
No,
I was unaware you had picked up that particular trick of your people.
To be
Heck,
fair,
let a lupine walk in the door?
to be fair, most of us didn't realize he had it until only a night or so ago. So don't feel bad.
He walks over to his bag that he had been about to leave. Reaches in,
Man, we should've let him go.
pulls out another wine bottle, pops it open.
Ah, you can hold it out.
Well, that way, if someone ordered another one later, I can pop up with it very quickly. It makes me appear like a miracle worker.
Yeah, Kyle will he'll huff and just lay down at some point on the floor.
Colin pours himself up one. Since Egidio had gotten the glasses out earlier, he pours Egidio a little bit.
I kind of look expectantly for one.
I'll say to the point, Kyle does
Cheeks
look
glasses.
injured in his lupine form, or his wolf form.
Got some hair missing,
Yeah.
some bullet wounds.
Yeah.
At that point, there's just a big old myth that just kind of nudges Emma. All right, I have a feeling you know what to do.
Her looking around. I don't know what you're talking about. I can go get band-aids for right now. Then like giving the we have guests look.
Walter just gives that like kind of curious, like, what do you mean? It's like, yes, that's exactly what I was talking about. Get something to stop the bleeding, dear. You know the medical supplies are more than I do.
Your office.
Yeah, I did get a decent first aid kit just for these reasons.
See a Gidio use one of those like eyelash things to like pull it out.
You're not gonna change back to debrief us on what happened. She's like rummaging around for the first aid kit because she has no idea where she put it.
You're not gonna explain it. I'm just going to make my own story up about what happened. She's like,
There's gonna be
Paw.
unicorns.
I was like, paw.
he's still doing it.
Yeah, I know he is, but he's now been flattened.
Well,
He
it's
didn't wait. Point of order: he didn't waste the wine though. He waited till Gidio set it down.
Good man.
Well, at this point, we can tell it wasn't an easy struggle. That's for sure.
Oh, he didn't die
once,
again.
Once the bullets are out, Kyle will shift back. That shit was a lot easier than it probably could have been.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you attack a fortified camp position with a pack of werewolves, it.
Yeah, security did say something about there being more.
You start getting messages over the All Baron chat from both August and Maddox's peoples. Just a warning, there seems to be a lot of dogs in the area.
Kyle will respond.
You know, they cut through one of the smaller domains and then into Cam territory.
Kyle will respond. Well aware of that, herded them back out.
You get some thumbs up emojis, which probably means it's not August or Maddox sending the messages themselves. It's probably some of the younger guys.
But let me tell you, watching a whole pack of werewolves just tear up some Cam, that was something.
Emma, like looking at the current company that is still here, like, are we showing this in front of everyone?
Colin's like, oh, I assure you, I am the absolute symbol, personification of, not subtlety, well, maybe subtlety.
Discretion?
Discretion, thank you.
Yeah. And I know who to point them at if you're not.
He looks mildly offended.
Okay, I believe.
Well, Baron, you're a gangrel. It's your people have a reputation for being able to deal with the lupine at least slightly better than the rest of us. Far better than my people.
Well,
so trying to wield them as a weapon, that could definitely be a two-edged sword.
not something I plan on doing. Worked well enough this time, but no telling.
Furman's like, if they're out, is it safe to like travel around again? I probably need to go let some of my people know what happened.
Yeah, go ahead and just. You know what, Colin, you too should probably go. Buddy pair and all that.
Furman gives you a look like you just threw him under a bus.
Furman's got his own vehicle. I'm sure he'll be fine. Call in when you get where you need to be.
But yes, ma'am.
Text me when you get home.
Let me know when you get to your friend's house. How late you're gonna be there.
Kyle just pinches his nose like, oh yeah, murder hands. Ugh.
I'm just picturing you as the overprotective mother. The sun better not beat you home.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't heard a saying like that in a hot minute. Good lord.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Colin.
Baron Adams. He nods the rest of you and finishes his glass, hands Gito the cup back.
Edo does the thing where he just like has a moist cloth just whoop,
Well,
puts it back.
you have a good remainder of your night and keep up the good work.
Hear anything fun? Anything worth mentioning?
Primogen Stafford is he has asked me recently if to ask you if you had come to any decision on his offer.
What'd you tell him?
That I would inquire if you had made a decision yet.
Well, since there is proof of the fact, please let him know that at present we are postponing the discussion until we finish dealing with the lupine.
So stalling, very well.
Stalling, but more effective stalling.
Oh yes, the lupine threat is definitely definitely an excuse that'll seem legit, especially if assuming no one else, assuming everyone was as unaware as myself of Kyle's new trick. Very good
You
representation of
jumped
a
it
wolf,
down,
by
though,
the way.
for a reason. Thank you.
But very well, I will let him know.
All right. In that case, have a good night.
And he lets himself out the back.
Well, I know why they attacked.
Oh, well, go on.
Go on.
What is it?
Well, the Duskborn in there was apparently an incredibly depraved individual,
Yeah, we picked
Yeah,
up on that.
we know.
and that depravity apparently they can sense it,
Yep.
Yep.
and
We've picked up on that.
that made him a target.
Mm-hmm. Just picture Judio and Emma just nodding like, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why they attacked, was because they sensed what they called the worm.
New name, but okay.
Well, I mean that's what they shouted when that one went diving after Iola. So
Walter's gonna probably like tilt his head in that curious dog look and then be like, ah. So I take it deals with something particular in terms of what? Moral, I assume? Personality?
best I can tell, considering the temperaments of each of us. Those of us that our own beasts have a little more sway with, that they, I guess that's kind of a representation of something called the worm to them. So I know that one immediately dove after Iola, and they were very wary around me. But when that one that was shifted was growling about the worm in the house, he couldn't sense any of the people he could see, which was the three of you. So
And the pinnacle of control.
It's because we're so charming.
A very good-looking guy.
But that's best I could tell. But I did make a deal with them.
And what are the terms of the contract?
Already fulfilled. I take them to find the young werewolf that was lost in the city
Mhm.
and help them get him out of primarily vampire controlled territory. And they let you all leave the house.
Good, because the cops probably would have had a lot more questions for giant werewolves.
Probably.
If they
But
lived, if
those
they
two
survived.
were specifically stationed there to keep an eye on if any more of us came to assess the damage.
And we did.
And we did. More to the point, when it comes to things happening, I would prefer if you all didn't share with others willy-nilly that I can turn into a wolf. You kind of outed it, so that's why I changed back in front of the other two.
The alternative is they think that we're just like consorting with lupine. You understand that, right?
Yes, I'm aware. Or just, a large wolf.
Or you could have changed back before you came in here.
You wanted to make that scene.
Little column A, little column B.
As a
But-
general rule, no, we're not trying to tell the others, but given the current predicament that just occurred,
Yeah.
You also traveled all the way here as a wolf. So whoever saw you coming here.
Well,
And then we'll see you in human form leaving here.
there was a pile of people on the top of the mall, so I couldn't exactly
Right.
shift freely out in the open.
There's
that-
woods.
They not that dense.
well,
I know, I've traveled them.
in
But-
any case, I will say this: we should let our colleagues know at the mall in case they are worried if they recall that this office is our space. We at least need to assure them that nothing has happened, and if there is anything, nothing is planned on occurring yet, so they don't
Yeah.
freak out thinking that there's a potential lupine hiding to get us if we leave. But we'll handle that later.
Point B. One of those lupine might be coming back to speak with me at some point.
That's fine. I'm sure we can arrange that meeting. We just need, hopefully, a little forewarning to keep Miles and Kincaid and the rest from having a conniption of seeing a
I'll say
lupine.
I've got no idea if or when it'll happen,
If they don't show
Make
up
sure
in
they're
wolves.
human.
Yeah.
but and I have no idea what'll come of it.
This
So
is
you're
gonna
just
bite us in
predicting
the
that
ass.
someone's going to show up.
But they seem to know or sense this worm in some of us, and I have no desire to be a servant of any creature or entity. So I asked them if there was any way to remove that curse or that taint that they sense. They said they would, and I quote, make inquiries. So I have no idea if anything will come of it or not.
Hey, we know this guy that's a vampire. We're pretty much arch nemesis with vampire. You want to come tell him that we have an answer for how to fix this problem and then murder him?
I could go back to hiding things if you're just going to be sassy with me.
I'm just pointing out that for the most part, werewolves and vampires don't have a great track record as being buddies.
Yeah, I know.
Though, let's be honest here, he does have one knack that none of us will probably even remotely be able to pull off. So he has that to his advantage. As for the rest of us, well, we probably should have a look.
Well, I have at least proven myself honorable to them, so maybe that'll count for something.
Yeah, here's to hoping that matters in this society.
And it's not a dig to make you keep hiding things. It's just this whole night could come back and bite us in the ass. Everything we've done tonight could come back and bite us in the ass.
Yeah, could.
Are we letting
But if
any
they
of
were,
the other barons know about this? I need to figure that out real quick. Because they weren't too keen on Sammy. I doubt they're going to be
yes, I'm
keen on everyone
aware,
else.
I do not want to tell them, oh, hey, by the way, I successfully led an entire pack of werewolves through the heart of the city to fetch one of their own and back out again. But
Well,
I guess, like I
currently,
said in the group chat, I herded them back out of the city.
So they don't ask anything, we don't say anything.
Yeah. I mean, which is true. We did go do something, but I did get them out of the city.
And in response to that text you sent out saying you had herded them out of the city, you get a message from Clint asking if he could drop by for more details on that. And that is followed up by one of the pack who would love to be there for that conversation.
Walter sees this message and doesn't hesitate. Well, time to think fast there, Chief.
Conversation is going to be in your court on this one.
I'm well aware.
Yeah, swing on by the office when you get a chance. We'll let you know. Just swing on by the office.
Both of them let you know they're on their way. Clint's
Right.
a few minutes away. The pack
Yeah,
might take a little longer.
Emma's hiding the box in one of her desk drawers.
Walter does the same. He has a good old fashioned roll top, so he just gets that real big drawer at the bottom and just sets the box in.
Emma has one of those old army metal desks that have lasted nuclear bombs.
Better
apparently don't last against gunfire.
Hey, it almost.
Yeah, that's true.
So Clint shows up first, and then a few minutes after him, Lillian of the pack shows up.
Okay.
Both of them are gangrel. Most of the pack are gangrel. Clint's coterie is a little more diverse, but and both of them are kind of barons on the outer edge. Both of them keep an eye out for lupine invasions. Between the three of you, it's almost like Decatur's got a wall on its west side.
A wall of gangrel.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's interesting.
Clint, Lillian.
They nod. They greet each other. They nod.
As Kyle is there with Shiloh.
Now, while this time is gone, before they showed up, but after everybody else had left, is somebody going to do more than slap a band-aid on the hole in Kyle?
Oh, yeah. Would have done actual healing. Just was not going to do it in front of the others.
Oh,
Yeah,
come
doing
on.
it in front of a setite is a bad idea.
Yeah. Gotta get a lot of questions asked.
You lose a lot more.
Look, he's not Tremere. There's no reason he would hate you on sight. It's not like your clan helped hunt his down at any point. That your clan is buddies with the Assamites or anything.
There's no animosity between the two. They're old friends, buddies, buddy pals. What are you
There's
at?
a lot more mediators that way.
I've taken 3 superficial damage. 2 from the
Okay.
gunshot, 1 from you punching him in the face.
You can keep the face punch.
Feel the bullet wound, but not that busted nose.
He'll take a nap. He'll feel fine.
Mm.
Double checking. She'd take the scene. She can do it at 0 during taking that whole scene. Let's see if I get hungrier. Yeehaw. While I'm doing that, anyone else happen to be at 4 hunger?
No.
Anybody?
No, I'm at
That's 2.
3.
Iola, what's your
I'm
hunger at?
at 2.
Then we're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm at 2, so we're good.
I mean, y'all all probably still do notice that Emma starts just smelling really nice all of a sudden.
She's her own potpourri.
Yeah.
Okay, it was intelligence, fortitude. That's what I was
Like one of those
double checking.
automated spray cans that just psst every now and then. Right out of the center of her forehead. Psst.
5 successes.
I am healed. I only needed 3.
Alright, so you're all patched up
Mm-hmm.
by the time the other Barons get there.
Emma like opens the door to let the smell of her own blood kind of air out beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
I go get a fresh hat. I'll be back.
Always use the cotton beanies, they're very absorbent.
They wash up good too.
So yeah, Clint and Lillian get there. Clint's first question: did you suffer any casualties dealing with the lupine? It's like he glances around the room to make sure all the Barons are there.
Head count.
We didn't. They did hunt someone at the outer edges of the city.
Oh.
Yeah. Someone that ended up inevitably breaching the masquerade anyway.
What? Lillian's like, details, Kyle. Yeah.
I wasn't there for that whole bit. This is me learning
hold
secondhand.
It was, go ahead, Egidio.
The man was harvesting people for parts.
What did he need parts for?
Some sort of ritual? I don't know. People are weird on the outskirts. No offense.
Both of them just kind of.
From what I understand, or at least from what they told me, they being the lupine, whatever it was he was doing, they could sense it, and he became a target.
It's pretty fucked up. I'm not gonna miss the guy.
He was probably pretty broken mentally before he was even turned. Probably should not have been turned to begin with.
We responded to the call to investigate. They investigated the house. I stayed outside to just sort of keep an eye on things. That's when we ran into 2 of the lupine in their shifted form, bipedal claws, all that. I don't know.
They both nodded.
And we got into a conversation.
Neither of them looked super shocked by this.
We talked a bit, and that's how I learned that's why they were here, and that those 2 in particular had been left at the house to stake it out for any other kindred that come by.
Guess who were the kindred that came by?
Yeah. Well, I guess the city's lucky that the group that went by had a gangrel.
Yeah.
Other than that, they took a bit of negotiating back and forth. But
What did you have to offer them?
I found something of interest to them the night previously, and I offered to return it to them in exchange for them leaving, or at least leaving the immediate area. Unfortunately, given as I had dropped it in Camarilla territory, I had to go fetch it.
Lillian's just smiling. Clint's looking thoughtful. Lillian's smiling real big. So you sent a pack of lupine deep into Cam territory.
I sent a pack of lupine deep into Cam territory, yes.
Did they suffer casualties?
Yes.
Okay.
Significant.
Lily's just smiling and nodding her head. They could have blown up in your face horribly, but I like it.
Yeah.
Kind of describes our life as barons, to be honest.
Well, considering the one I had conversed with said that I had honor, I'm not sure what that means to them.
Clint's like, a lot. Dude, I don't know many details of their society, but I know it's very honor-based, at least among the fighter types.
Well, okay then. So there's that. That was the deal basically, is they did not attack us in mass in exchange for the object of interest that they wanted.
Was that all that brought them to the city?
That I'm not sure. I didn't want to question them while a battle high was going on. They were kind of focused on this. I'm not sure if that was the only thing that brought them here. But when we were heading there, it was just me and the two. They did call 3 others. So
Lily nodded. We heard some of the howling.
yes.
And she roused off the time by the time they heard it, which matches up pretty closely. So we'd been finding signs of they had not attacked anybody out our way. Though our domain is sparsely populated as far as kindred go. But we'd been finding signs that they were around.
Yeah. Best I could tell just from that conversation I had with them, if there's anybody in your all's domains that are a little messed up in the head or care very little for the value of human life or even acting human at all, they're more than likely going to be a target if they run into them.
So it's like I'm not sure the lupine care that much about human life. But yes, the deranged tend to draw their wrath more.
It's the only metric I have from what I was able to witness. And I kind of don't want to test their patience with me too much. So I didn't try to.
Yeah, both of them shake their heads. Lily's like, yeah, they're not known for their patience. She looks over at Clint. I suppose one of us could go ask Old Montgomery if he knows anything.
Old Montgomery?
Kyle, nobody else in the room would probably recognize the name. Kyle, you recognize the name. That's one of the old gangrel that control part of the Wheeler Wildlife Refuge.
Okay.
The refuge is basically, as I mentioned before, it's basically divided between, there's basically 2 gangrel that run, one's Cam, one's Anarch. Nobody's really sure how firmly political either one of them are. Each of them just kind of keep everybody out of their domain.
Yeah, they just exist.
It's like everybody's kind of, if you go a few months without any sign of them, people are wondering if they heard the call and headed east. They're about that age.
Okay. Well, they're. They even let us into. Would he even let us into his territory? I know he's a little. He's a little.
Lillian's like cranky.
Twitchy. I mean, yeah. But
Get
he's.
along fine.
He's old.
Clint nods. I could go in and ask him if he was willing to talk.
Okay.
But if he says no, I would very politely thank him for his time and leave.
Fair.
But he knows more of the lupine than probably anybody else in the city.
Right. Well, it's certainly something to think about.
Let's see. But so they seem to be pretty happy with your explanation of what went on. The fact that you could deal with lupine does not seem to be offensive to these two.
Well, being gangrel.
Yeah, and being kind of the border patrol.
Yeah.
Bad term, but border guard here.
Perimeter.
Yeah. If you can make a deal and get them to leave us alone, that's they're cool with it.
Yeah.
So general consensus is everybody's going to keep an eye out.
Yeah.
See if they're still around, or if the activity dies down. And a general consensus of call us if you hear any if you find any signs or hear anything, let us know, and vice versa.
Right. Gangrel to gangrel.
Egidio covers his ears.
Lillian glances over the rest of the barons, but then looks back at Kyle and didn't say anything.
Well, it's because you two are gangrel. One of them did mention that I might be seeing him again.
What was his tone of voice?
Oh, I'll see you.
And it was not particularly threatening or anything.
No, it wasn't threatening. Just sort of a, you might run into me again. It's like a casual conversation kind of tone. Really.
Okay. They both kind of that might mean something, that might not.
Well, that was the one that said that I comported myself with honor or whatever. So.
Well, maybe that at least means if you run into him again, he'll talk first. Don't count on that, but maybe.
Fair. Yeah. They're a passionate people.
Yes.
I have an above table question for the group.
Mhm.
Did we tell Ada about the -1 that we were initially going after? Okay,
Yes.
cool. Because she
Yeah,
did ask about any more minuses, and I was like, it took me till now. I was like, did we tell her about the one the thin foot?
I don't
Yeah,
think
I
y'all
think-
sent her a name necessarily.
Okay.
Or had she or had she come over and talked to you? I can't remember.
She had talked to us before we had gotten that information and
Okay.
left before we had gotten that information.
So,
we
yeah.
just told her it was a -1 and we would get in touch later when we had
Okay.
better details.
So yeah, I don't know what that means, but
Lillian side, it could mean that they've got some other business here in town, or he was happy with the deal you made, and that was just pleasantries on his way out. Who knows?
who knows?
But conversation winds down. They let themselves out. You hear Lillian crank her back up. All right. What other business do y'all want to get into tonight?
I need to go eat. Kyle's at 3 hunger. He needs some food.
All right. Does anybody else need to hunt?
I don't need to, but I can try to get some stores. Because I don't think I've done that today yet or tonight yet.
That
did we-
being.
I think we went right to the
Yeah.
crime today.
We had time before the scene of the crime.
Yeah, we did, because I remember Walter went to go tap the herd.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, no,
Yeah.
never mind. I would have done it. I would have done it the next time.
Yeah, I'll probably hunt the following night as well.
Mhm.
I was gonna do something and I completely forgot. I should have wrote it down.
What Kyle's gonna do, he's gonna attempt to hunt an animal.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what role you want me to make for that.
I know it was animal handling and something else for farmer hunting.
Yeah, I know for Farmer it was, but for his more aggressive style of hunting, I'm not sure how that would translate.
Rack and field, run up and tackle a deer.
Well, I mean, if he's running up on them as a wolf, can pounce and then shift and drink. I don't know. Or could he even drink as a wolf?
I don't think it says anything about you not being able to feed, so I would assume you could.
Fair enough.
I'd almost say survival
Mhm.
might be a sort of hunting thing.
Okay.
So I think Sarah's right. I think we used animal handle or animal kin. While
Yeah,
she
I think
was
that
dead.
was to. I think that was to, like, keep the animal calm or something.
Maybe so. And you're not going for calm animals.
No, he's attacking because he's a combat hunter. But what the werewolf said has him thinking a bit about the tie of that humanity thing and like attacking humans for blood. So he has some things like, what happens if I drink from an animal? So that's why he's gonna give it a try tonight.
Okay. Give me.
I don't get hungrier.
Oh, for shifting again.
Yeah.
That might have been risky with Emma in the
Yeah.
room in the state she's in. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah.
All right, so you shift and you head out to a wooded area.
Mhm.
And there's the strip of woods between the mall and like that westward neighborhood. You probably wouldn't find much big in there. Where you cross into the wooded area and a little north of the domain, you're getting into some thicker area. There may be some deer.
Yeah.
Because there are deer on the outer edges of the crater.
He doesn't want to potentially risk another encounter with the lupine, so he'll see if he can find something smaller, like, drink a raccoon or
A possum, something like that.
possum, something like that. Something just like one, maybe two hunger off. I highly doubt two, but at least one.
All right, give me.
Gotta find a particularly chunky raccoon.
Oh, let's go with etiquette and not etiquette, animal kin. Excuse me.
Okay.
Very sophisticated raccoon. Got a
Little
top hat.
Yeah. We've played together too much.
Yep.
So I'm just picturing Kyle there, his teeth sinking inside of a raccoon, but with his pinky. But yeah, animal kin and
There's a monocle somewhere.
let's go wits because it's more the skill of the hunting than
Okay.
Can you physically overpower a raccoon? Well, yes, of course you can, but
Right.
you've got to be able to find it and get to it without it realizing you're there and climbing a tree.
Okay. Well, leaves me with 4 dice. I'm gonna rouse wits.
Okay.
Don't get hungrier.
You don't have to worry about the COVID penalty for this stuff.
That's true. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I believe that's good enough.
Okay.
And let's see, feeding. Medium-sized animal, a raccoon, a dog, a coyote. 1 turn, and hunger slacked is only 1.
Okay.
And it kills the animal. There's animal resonance. No dysgracia. How you say that?
Discretia.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if there is an argument made for like animalism.
Well, it's got animal resonance.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay.
Now, if you went for a large animal, a deer, a horse, something like that, a cow, then you can get 2.
Yeah.
But okay, you managed to knock 1 hunger off anyway.
And then he will fetch Shiloh, and then he's going to his haven because I'm pretty sure it's getting close to setup.
All right. Was Emma going to try to hunt tonight? Anybody else?
Good for now.
Good for now.
Okay. All right. So everybody eventually retreats back to your havens. The GDO, you get there, and there are towels and washcloths thrown all over. It's like somebody came in, opened your linen closet, and just started tossing stuff.
No one's tried to communicate on the wall again.
Uh,
Judo hasn't cleaned it up at all. It looks cool to him.
Then yes, that last message she recorded or wrote down.
Hell is big enough for both of us.
That was it. I remember the gist of it. I can't remember the exact wording.
But it's still there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's not cleaning the house up.
What is it? I don't remember what you told me it was written in.
I don't remember either. Maybe something you had in the refrigerator. If you have your refrigerator like half stocked just for appearance's sake.
It's just like ketchup or something
Yeah.
for dramatic effect, or like barbecue sauce.
Whatever you'd have had in there, whatever she could have gotten a hold of.
Some sort of condiment. It's like slowly slowing down and drying.
Yeah, by this point, it's been there all night. So by this point, it's a little streaky, but still perfectly legible and pretty dry at this point. You'll have to do something about that if you ever want to have somebody in the house.
Activates Sense the Unseen. Just kind of does a cursory scope around for her.
She's not currently visible or out where you can see her.
Yep. It's not going to waste a lot of time looking. Just seeing if he sees her, and then goes to bed for the day sleep.
Okay. All right. So all of you go to bed.
He will strategically put the towels down where it's going to streak.
You don't think it's going to run all the way down to the floor?
It might.
Though it's probably stained the wall by this point.
That's fine. That'd be a nice selling point for when Egidio has to sell the house.
All right. So the sun rises and you all sleep.
Ooh, success. Don't get hungrier.
Woo, success. I don't get hungrier.
Well, you're just assuming you wake up the next morning.
Damn. I get hungry.
Right. Do I wake up?
Yes. Everybody wakes the next evening.
Okay, then yes.
Anybody who hasn't made their house check already, go ahead and make it.
Yep. No, I did not get hungrier.
And I will go feed. 1, 2, 3. Four successes on a crit.
All right, you get there, you get to the blood bank, assuming you're hunting your usual way of swinging about the
Yep.
blood bank. Yeah, you get there, and your inside man has got you 4 blood bags.
Perfect. Slip them some money.
Uh,
It's like
Now he is like, be careful. Those are actually contaminated. Some of those are actually contaminated with COVID.
okay. I will keep that in mind. Thank you. It'll be a nice. Never mind. Thank you.
It's a certain flavor.
It's not Capri Sun. It's like a LaCroix.
So not a good flavor.
It's not a good flavor, but it's a flavor.
Why does this blood taste like television static?
Be more.
And he will crack one while he's got a chance to slake a hunger.
Okay.
And put the others in storage.
Walter, what are you doing when you first wake up?
Let's see. Walter would probably be reaching out to the NOS community, seeing if there's any happenings going on, seeing if there's any questions that they might.
One of them
think
sends you
about
an article from
Okay.
like a conspiracy / cryptid website.
He starts reading it.
The gist of the article is, what the hell is going on in Decatur, Alabama? There is a picture of you in the yard.
Questions we ask ourselves every day.
It's not a very good picture. But there's a picture of a large pack of wolves running across the street. You can only clearly see the front ones, though a couple of them the back ones rather, is taken from behind. But there's at least a couple of them in the front that seem to be oversized. And from the dates and what the article says, that the picture of the wolves was taken last night, and there were wolf howls in Decatur. And it goes into a brief thing on how there basically haven't been any wolves in Alabama in X number of years, and now there seems to be a pack running through the streets of Decatur. Basically one night after, and then it references the article about where you showed up. And then there's a few lesser mentions to, the number of explosions, just all the weirdness that's been going on in Decatur. Though this article being into cryptids, it's much more concentrated on the weird sightings of weird creatures.
Walter does smile at this, kind of like, yeah, we've caused a little bit of chaos in the city, and I'm not ashamed of a bit. But
and there's a couple of links to like the Decatur Daily website and other places talking about people here. Last night there were several reports of people hearing wolf howls. Though those articles go, that more than likely what people were hearing were actually coyotes, and they just couldn't tell the difference. Which might be legit, or that might be cam cover up. Who knows?
He makes note of all this, and thinks about what to bring up to the group later when they have their standard meeting.
And in unrelated news, somebody sends you an article. There's a Decatur Daily article on it. There was some of the local news stations talking about it. A woman claiming to have escaped from like a kidnapper. Wild stories. basically what you can piece together is your thin-blooded friend from last night must have had a live captive in the house that got loose while the lupines were killing him, or perhaps the lupines freed her. Who knows? But she managed to run to a neighboring house, a little ways off because he didn't have any real close neighbors, and asked for help. She was borderline incoherent that night. Where, earlier in the day that you just slept through, when people talked to her then, she was much calmer. She doesn't know if that guy had given her something. She seemed to be more of the opinion that she must have been, at least partially hallucinating, the night before. And the police are searching for the man that was renting the house, but they found no signs of him.
Walter chuckling himself, and they won't either. But he kind of makes mental notes of some of these articles. Again, he thanks the community, as he's probably ended up dubbing the Discord. Not the NOS community, just the community. And thanking everybody for their interesting tidbits and stories. They'll go wonderful in the scrapbook.
Iola, what are you doing when you first wake up?
I pulled the magician upright.
Behold, magic.
Which is ability, strength, prowess, focus, power, and determination, calm, and confident. But we're gonna go hunting.
All right, where would you like to hunt?
Hello.
Where's the? I'm still not. I don't think staying in my haven, right? Because we still haven't figured out who was kind of following her that day.
No, you haven't. So if you wanted to retreat back to that house you were borrowing from,
yes, as long
Ada,
as she didn't have this sense of being followed, she would have.
Okay. But anyway, how are you gonna go about hunting? It's early in the evening, so there's still some people moving around, even though there's not a lot of places that are open. Restaurants are, some doctors' offices might still be.
Probably just behind a restaurant or something.
Okay. Give me a roll. Go do that whole wait for somebody to take out the garbage thing again.
Yeah. And it's what? We said charisma performance?
Yes. Oh, that's a crit.
Yeah.
So that's 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's because you got one of the you got a 6 7 100 dice too, 7. So that's 5 and then 6 7 for the crit.
7, yeah.
So yeah, you slink up behind a restaurant. Or kind of the side of the restaurant. Somebody's out there taking a smoke break. This isn't a restaurant that has a drive-through. So currently they're doing a lot of curb pickup. So there are cars coming and going from the parking lot, but only kind of up to the front of the building. It during normal parts of the year it's a buffet place. So you walk up, you strike up a conversation, about how the day's going, this, that, and the other, maybe you imply that you're there to pick up some food. You know, that you're basically walking from your house to pick up the food. So, I mean, otherwise, if you're just a regular person just behind the restaurant, that's kind of weird. But anyway, the conversation managed to go smooth enough, and you managed to slide up and clamp on. How much of a drink are you taking?
2 slakes worth.
Okay, so you're not doing the person any harm.
No.
Yeah, and after that, you're free to cross back over to your domain. Egidio.
Hi.
All right, you wake up in your basement.
Yep. Get up. Go about my day. I've called in for my thing. I grab it. I do the same thing that I always do, where I pretend that I'm walking to the dead man's, but I'm walking that way to scope it out a little bit. At a point where I can scope out both the maw and the dead man's, and just walk up towards the office.
That's right, because I'd already asked you about the hunting hat.
Yeah. I imagine the hunt doesn't take too long.
No. Sorry, I forgot I'd done you and went back to you.
Yep.
Emma, when you first wake up, you're kind of hungry, aren't you?
Yep. Doing a quick check of the emails on the phone and all that, making sure there's nothing there, and then going hunting.
You got a message from Ada. Still waiting for that additional information.
Sorry, it was a crazy night. I will meet up with you at the office after I grab something to eat.
Let's see what the other. If there's any other major messages.
Any emails from Harmony?
You do get a message from her saying, "Be careful." Seems to be a lot of dogs running around. After all, she's not privy necessarily to the citywide Baron chat.
Reply something back. Yeah, I think we adopted a stray, and then just leave it at that.
Yeah, you get some question marks back about that.
Nothing dangerous, just, sometimes you just have to adopt the strays. She will go do her usual, "Hi, here's your hamburger and my meal."
Right, give me a roll.
Four.
Okay. So yeah, you do your typical food. Guy opens the door, looks a little confused, but then seems perfectly happy to take the food. And when he leans over to take it from you,
We'll do the memory wipe and be like, "Oh yeah, there's an orange juice and a cookie in there. Make sure to eat that."
yeah, I'm just picturing you doing the Jedi mind trick thing. You gave blood today.
Just feeling a little
So when he rouses up and realizes he's got a juice and a cookie, he's oh yeah, that's right.
Keep those red blood cells up. Keep healthy during these times. Then heads to the office.
Okay. Kyle.
Yeah.
You wake up to the sound of one of those hamster wheels spinning.
He will go feed Shiloh and the rat.
The rat seems to be adjusting to his new digs pretty well. really likes the wheel.
Fair enough.
Well, they've done studies. They've set those wheels out just out in the forest,
Mhm.
and just regular old field mice will play with them. It's like,
Things I've
wild
learned today.
wild mice that are just out in the open, and they come across one of those wheels to start fiddling with.
I could run in the wild, but this is fantastic.
All animals
Fair
play. If you leave a monitor lizard with a bucket, it will wind up putting the bucket on its head.
Yeah. Crows, man.
Just crows in general.
Well, crows are freaky smart.
They are.
They also are working with the wolves.
Yep.
Love them for it.
At least in Yellowstone. I don't know if that's been observed other places. But...
Yeah, he's gonna. Yeah, after he does that, he is going to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's going to put. He's gonna bring Shiloh with him on a drive. He's just gonna sort of drive around the domain.
Shiloh wants the window down.
Shiloh gets the window down.
His head's out. So y'all are out doing that little bit of stuff. Several of you get a message from Miles. Just a heads up, there seems to be a couple of extra eyes on the area tonight. I'll swing by the office and fill you in if you'd like.
We're here. Or we can meet where you want to meet.
Oh, he's fine with me at the office. Nice central location. So as y'all start to drift into the office, he's already there. He's got a little map of the domain up. Let's see, who'd probably be the first one there?
Egidio, probably.
Yeah, probably so, because you were out.
Yep.
And then doing that. But Miles is already there when you get there with his map out.
Howdy.
Egidio?
Miles?
So somebody seems to be setting up cameras around the domain.
Okay.
Crap. Drop my little fidgety thing.
Now, half the fun in getting these messages is like trying to decode exactly what the hell you're talking about when you like look at them. I can say that was not what I had in mind.
Oh, I thought it was pretty obvious. Well, I guess it could have been our buddies across the street.
Yeah, just a whole gaggle of them looking up.
But I gotta say, bringing in some of those NOS into the security crew, great idea.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Some of them guys are real good with computer stuff.
Does that mean that those are our cameras or?
Oh no.
Okay.
So he points to there's a bank across the road to the south of the domain. Just a little
Like local credit union.
Yeah, satellite branch. It's where Emma's buddy was spying on y'all before she knew what was going on. That time Walter tried to sneak up on her to no avail. Basically, it's an extra camera on the roof. That one of the NOS spotted it was there. And while he's managed to get access to that bank's cameras previously, he didn't have access to that one, which, caused him to spread the word, and they started looking around, and there's been a few cameras put up like that. He sent somebody to like physically observe, look at one of them. Best they can tell, the cameras are set up using a cell signal. But the one across the street there it's the way it's positioned is probably just sort of watching kind of the mall, that whole front parking lot area. He's got somebody checking the woods back behind the mall to see if they had anything back there watching the mall. Somebody put one on top of the Waffle House.
No, not the Waffle House.
Though that one seems to be pointed at the hospital across the road. He's like, we haven't seen anything where it looks like it's specifically pointed at the dead man's or anything specifically pointed at the office. Though we have not checked the roof of the bank next door. Because your office is connected to a very large bank. Used to be a Hills, if anybody remembers that store chain.
I was gonna say, did Egidio come by that from that direction or from the other direction?
I could go either way.
Okay, yeah, he would have came from the other way. For the sake of clarity, so you could be like, huh, I guess I have a project here in a sec.
So yeah, he's got people running around like checking in on that. He sent Ada a thing to see if any of Woodard's people have spotted anything. But he hadn't heard back from her yet. But it's real early in the evening.
People are still waking up. Some people are cranky when they wake up. It's just as true in vampire society as it was when we were human.
Yeah.
I hate Mondays. Okay, Garfield, shut the hell up.
So yeah, he doesn't know what he doesn't this this is something new and he doesn't know exactly what to make of it yet.
I wonder if these can be traced.
He's like, I've got no idea. Yeah.
It'll be something.
He goes, some of the NOS or techie guys could probably, but I figured I'd tell he's just talking to Gito at this point, but I figured I'd tell all y'all and Walter could, I know a few of the NOS. Walter is part of that community, so
it's something I can probably look into as well.
Yeah, and some more of y'all start wandering in. None of you had a real hard time hunting tonight, so.
You mind if we keep this here? I don't want to take a picture of it because that might tip somebody off.
He goes, what the map? Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And he's on the map. He's got marked the ones they found so far.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. And if you just find a new one, just mark it here, and or tell me, and we'll mark it, and whatever the case may be, whatever is more convenient for you.
But yeah, other than that, he's like, oh, is the lupine thing resolved?
As far as I know.
Okay. Because he's had some other people in other parts of town talk about, that little wave of lupines. Everybody in town seems to kind of have become aware of it.
A werewolf.
They are aware of the wolves. Because y'all were cutting through, a couple of smaller Anarch domains. You cut through the Cam domain. You may have cut through a little bit of. Let's see, Molten Heights. No, I don't think Molten Heights comes down far enough. Might have cut into a little bit of August at some point, but yeah, He just assumed not have to tangle with any of them if it could happen. And then as he's getting ready, as he's opening the door to leave, Ada is showing up. As soon as the door is shut, she's like, "Who died?"
Nobody today yet.
Yesterday. Somebody died yesterday.
yesterday.
Y'all never gave me his name.
Has Kyle made it from his sort of patrol, or is he still out doing that right now?
You'd have gotten the message from Miles, so you could be there before Ada got there.
Okay.
So if you had something you wanted to ask Miles before he left.
Not in particular. He was just
Okay.
out doing patrol.
So yeah, you're there by the
Just
time Ada
drive
gets there.
around. Okay.
So she gets the
Miles
name of the
is
guy that
just-
died last night. She's like, oh yeah. Oh, one of the Dustborn. Okay.
Hmm.
He probably shouldn't have been living that far out.
Massive. I'm not
He
gonna
had
miss
his
the guy.
reason. Yeah.
Kind of a shitty person.
Have you
I
met
don't-
Kindred
I'm not-
before?
Busier
Yeah,
than usual.
but I'll lean in close and be like, "Do you have bodies hanging out just on hooks somewhere?"
On hooks? Of course not.
Good.
Civilized. We put those things on shelves.
In the fridge where they belong.
Get,
Deep
get,
freezes.
Like those
Deep freezes.
morgue drawers and
She goes, I'm going to assume he was one of the alchemists then.
yeah.
I wonder what he was working on.
Not
Did he have any notes?
really. If he had any, they got destroyed by the assailants.
Which they did. They tore all kinds of crap up.
I'm being completely honest. I'm aware.
Okay. She's like, Oh,
But
Miles told you about the
So-
cameras?
yes,
Yeah.
he left the map here.
She looks over, and she marks a couple on the roof of the mall.
Oh, those aren't yours.
Hmm.
How interesting.
No. I mean, we have some. Well, we have access to the regular mall security stuff. And these were, once we got Miles' message, we had some of our security people give a thorough going over. And these cameras were kind of hidden, kind of in and amongst the ones that are supposed to be there.
Just wonder if they can be traced. I was telling Miles, but Miles isn't, brainy.
While they're talking, Emma's just gonna do a quick walkthrough of any of the cameras at her place, at the office.
Yeah, give me a wits awareness.
Yes, because I can. Rousing. Was it 2 dots off for feeding, or was it 1? Just 1. She didn't drain the guy. And
Well,
didn't do
she
anything.
could have taken 2 without doing him any permanent harm.
You know what? He took the thing, acting like it was his. He gets 2. Ugh. 2?
Okay. No 2 successes. You give a quick while. You don't see anything out of sorts with yours.
Okay.
I'll look at. Is Walter in at this point?
Yeah. Everybody's met up there at this point.
I look at Walter and go, I don't have the stuff for it, but I think if I can borrow one of you guys's, one of your NOS buddies' laptops, I might be able to see if I can't trace where the signal is going. Can't promise anything, but hey, worth a shot.
Can't stop the signal, Mal.
I don't
Wal-
need to stop the signal, I just need to trace it.
Walter said thanks for a minute. He walks over to his desk, hands him a laptop. Well, it should be just as capable.
It's easy.
Oh, and before I forget, some rather interesting tidbits of information going around. The conspiracy theorists are having an absolute grand time of the incident last night. So much so they've taken a shining to specifically point out the fact of the last time Decatur's ever had wolves and put down dates. Oh, I love those crazy bastards.
In this world, are they crazy though?
They're less crazy because they might be right, but that doesn't mean they know they're right.
Exactly. They don't know they're right, but you can play on the fact that they're probably not.
Anything else marginally kind of credible on their website, or was it just all kind of crackpot theories?
It's hard to say with some of these. Though I do believe our dear late alchemist, he was about to have a fresh one on the table last night.
Yeah, we heard about that from the cops.
Oh, there's some interviews. I've gotten some articles and video evidence. The whole thing was very distraught, from what I can tell, at least when they initially talked to her. Though the reviews afterwards, when she was more calm, seems to strongly believe that she was given something and she was slightly hallucinating for what was going on. So something to our benefit, but other than that, no, just mostly crackpot theories. Though apparently they believe my sighting is could be potential reasoning for the sudden incursion of wolves. I don't know how my ugly mug can bring a pack of wolves in, but hey, I'm sure there's other things that could happen.
Well, every had this conversation, Ada's phone keeps buzzing in her pocket. She keeps pulling it out, looking at it.
Going
Got
on.
a hot date?
Woodard's very upset about the cameras.
Well,
She's had a
tell her
little
we're
get
working
together
on
she's
it.
been planning that she keeps having to put off. Things keep coming up. She keeps having to put it off.
What kind of get together?
Some movers and shakers, mortal movers and shakers in the city. Nothing really kindred related. But there's plenty of open space in the malls.
Yeah.
Well, people actually want to go in.
Yeah, weirdly, the super rich aren't as concerned about all this as they want the poor's to be. It's weird.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference to us because
Any particular?
oh, she also
field,
wanted to know
or-
if we should tear the cameras off or.
Let her know
Well,
that
she
I
was
want
planning to tear them off. I suggested we wait and find out if y'all had a plan.
Oh,
See if we can
belie-
trace them.
yes, that's the Judio's current objective, is to, with the help of some of the NOS, to figure out where these pointing and then who is installing. Because clearly this is the work of someone trying to get a better idea of things going on.
I mean, if nothing else, could probably at least spray the lenses black.
They just like, well, if you're gonna do that, you might as well tear them down. I mean,
Yeah.
you just from that standpoint of you letting them know that we know,
Fair
or
enough.
letting them know somebody knows.
Though there is one trick you can pull. Now it also depends if the person behind them is not tentative or very bright at times, but we can always consider feeding loops into the cameras. If we've got enough backup data of a standard day to where it looks like anything else and not out of the ordinary, you can loop footage and make it look like as if it's just standard time passing. As I said though, if the person's more tentative and actually does pay attention to, say, the weather or anything of that particular, they might notice something off, but if you play it right, you can simply just give them false footage and then you can go about your day, but that's going to take effort on other folks' part to make sure that everything stays running according. Just a thought.
would be funny. But what would stop them from dropping more cameras? I guess the question at the end of every day would be like, what's to stop them from dropping down more cameras? I guess at some point it would get costly for them, but they have a lot of
Oh.
money.
Well, not only costly, but at the same time, clearly they're trying to look at particular whereabouts. If they've got an eye on the hospital, eyes on the mall. Clearly, it seems so far with what evidence is presented that it's at kindred territories, whether it be Cam or our
Well.
own. Just a thought that crossed my mind, but still, we don't have enough
don't
evidence to
think
make anything
they're
solid.
hunters, do you?
I'm hoping not, but if they are, that's going to mean a lot more trouble for us eventually. The next best thing I can think of is we can get some tracking data. We can see how long they've been running, and
That's the
actually
plan.
we can then figure out when they were established and try to correlate what it could be about. If it's hunters, it could be either because of the lupine or because of ourselves. Who knows on that part?
Could just be Decatur's seen a lot of weird shit, and someone wants to come by and investigate.
I mean, they're not all pointing at us. One was pointing at the hospital.
Oh,
So yeah, so far there's been a total of 4 found in your domain.
but from what Miles says, not pointed at the dead man's or the office that we know of yet.
No, it's like generally at the mall, but kind of covering that whole parking lot. And the ones on the mall were like just kind of pointed out across, just kind of across the front of the mall. Like it would get most of the parking lot. It would be picking up the dead man's and that whole line of establishments.
But of course, that's because of the angle. They can see pretty much the whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, time to get to work, and then he'll go and I'll be at the mall. Ada, would you like to join me?
Certainly.
Or did you have anything else here?
No, she wanted to find out if you knew anything about the cameras and who died last night. And there's lots of stories about the lupine thing going around.
Rattle off the name if they have.
Their security people at the mall spotted the lupines running by. It was kind of freaky. And she's like, there may still be one in the area because it broke off from when the pack ran back through. One of them broke off, ran back behind the mall, and disappeared over here somewhere.
Yep. All right. Well, onward.
Did Kincaid mention if there were cameras found in other domains or if that had been passed on to check other domains?
He said Miles said nothing about.
I'm sorry, Miles.
He said nothing about talking to anybody outside the barony about it yet, or having heard anything from outside the barony. He's got tunnel vision. He's worried about the security of your domain.
Hey, all for it. She'll put something similar to what Miles put in there. Hey, there's some extra eyes out and about tonight. Just keep a lookout.
You get a few things back about they will keep a. Well, you get a few out, a few oh yeah, we'll keep an eye out. And then one of August's people, whoever runs August's social media, whatever.
His social media manager.
Probably an emissary or something that actually does most of the actual texting. But they've found some looky loos out their way as well.
That's interesting. Any word on them?
Well, the ones they found were on some of our property, but not really looking at our property. Somebody seemed to want to keep an eye on the hospital. And this would be, the other main hospital, the Decatur General campus. The one Kyle was dealing with previously.
I had some similar experiences.
And with that, I think we'll wrap for the night. As y'all find out, at least you're not being exclusively targeted this time.
Yep.
And we will take up the investigation next week. Hope y'all had fun tonight. I enjoyed it. Hope anybody that came by and watched show up next week, or anybody that watches the replay of this later. If you're looking for more games, check the schedule below. There are more games on Dire Bear. Until next week, again, I was your storyteller, Jason. And with me tonight was Rappy as Iola, Duba as Walter, Eric as Kyle, Jeremy as Egidio, and Sarah as Emma. And we will see y'all next time.